Fucking hell. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I found pie for you.
Dear God! What a relief! Between ourselves, he was none too cheap. I don't know what I'd have done if he was gone for good. Here's something for your trouble.
Thank you. Just try not to lose him again.
We'll do our best. Take care now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God be with you. May the Lord watch over you.
Good health to you. Take care now.
God be with you.
So I went to check on the Bower farm, and I don't have good news.
Do tell.
They most certainly are heretics, at least as far as I can tell.
Are you sure? What did you hear?
Well, for a start, the evening prayers were led by a woman.
That is certainly unusual, but nothing conclusive in itself.
But that's not all. They're afraid the vicar will be coming after them.
Who wouldn't fear that? That swine finds fault with everyone.
Well, it's not like you'd have to try too hard. Mrs. Bower plans to confess everything.
Confess what, exactly?
Most likely her faith. The people of the farm were trying to discourage that, but her mind's made up.
Oh, good Lord, that's all I need. What am I to do?
I don't know, but we have to help them.
You're quite right. You have to talk them out of it, Hal. You must convince them to run.
Convince them? That's easy for you to say. You haven't heard her talking.
I'm sure you'll find a way. You have to try at least. For their own good and for yours, Hal.
You're right. Someone has to help them.
I'm glad you see it that way. Now hurry. You never know when the vicar might come for them. Good luck, then.
Yeah.
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
Farmer Bauer?
Do we know each other?
Well, not exactly, but...
Then we have nothing to talk about. I'm sorry.
It's not who I am that matters, it's what I know.
I don't understand. And I have quite a bit of work to do, so if you'll excuse me.
I know who you are, and I want to help you.
What do you mean, who I am? Look here, lad. If this is some kind of joke, I've heard better ones. Now, as I said, I have work to attend to.
I know that you're not, well, proper Christians. I overheard you at your supper table.
You spied on us. Let me guess. You're working for that vicar.
As I said, it doesn't matter who I am, but I want to help you, which I won't be able to do if your wife confesses.
Unbelievable. And why should I trust you?
You don't have much of a choice. I thought if you could talk her out of it...
And you think I haven't tried? She simply won't back down. And in truth, I can't fault her for it.
There must be a way.
That's exactly what I told myself at first. Yes, there must be a way. It must be resolved somehow. I think of nothing else, day and night, except how to pull ourselves from the fire. And however much I deliberate, all I can think, God forgive me, is that there's probably only one solution. One way we can be saved.
Which is?
I can hope that God will have mercy on us, and something will happen to the vicar before he takes me and my wife in for questioning, but just the thought that I'm wishing for another man's death. Christ forgive me.
There's no need to upset yourself. It's understandable. You're only human.
Indeed I am. But I thought I was a better man than that. But enough of this. I'm not here to bare my soul to some servant of the vicar's.
I'm not asking you to. I'll try to have a word with your wife.
As you wish. But Steadfast could be her middle name. That's one of the reasons I married her.
Oh well.
Is in God's hands. And as far as I'm concerned, you ought to examine your conscience and think about who it is you serve. God gives us just one chance in this world, and you're wasting yours by aiding and abetting Satan's pawn.
You're right. That's why I want to help you.
Good luck, then.
God save. How may I help you, good night?
Mistress Bauer,
What is it you need?
I've come to ask something of you.
Have you? And just who are you, young man?
That doesn't matter. The important thing is that I want to help you and your husband.
I admit that I'm a little confused. You've come to ask me something, but at the same time you want to help me. What's going on?
I want to ask you not to confess to the vicar. Just take your husband and get out of here while there's still time.
I have no idea why you're so taken with my fate, or how you found out about my intentions, but I'll tell you one thing. Changing my mind is out of the question. I won't betray my faith, nor my brothers in Christ.
Believe me, I know how cowardly it feels to flee. What it's like to abandon your nearest and dearest when they need you most.
Then you must understand why I can't do the same.
I do. But I also know that if I died that day, I would have achieved nothing by it. Whereas this way, I live on.
And what are you living for? Revenge?
Maybe. What of it? The important thing is that I'm alive, and I still have a life to do with as I please, and so could you. You can convert more people to your creed, instead of being scoffed at as they drag you to the pyre.
I'm sorry, but I just can't act otherwise. I've had enough of persecution, of living in fear and hiding who I truly am. I want to live and die in God's truth, not falsehood.
But that's madness.
You'd better go. And although I don't quite understand your motives, I thank you for your words. Good luck then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good day to you.
I found them, Monsignor.
Pardon me?
I found the heretics.
Really? And who are they?
The Bauer family and their entire household.
Well, I expect you to give me some evidence. In the last few days, I've been hearing how practically everyone here is a heretic.
I found that place the captive heretic talked about, and I found a family cross there. It took a bit of asking around, but I learned it belongs to the Bowers. Their farm isn't far from here, to the north. And then all I had to do was go there and do a little spying.
What of it? What did you hear?
They were afraid you'd come for them. Some of them were talking about leaving the farm. Seems they're of another faith.
A different faith? Where did you get that from, my boy? There is only one faith, one God, one church. Understood?
Yes, I'm sorry, Monsignor. I didn't express myself well.
You are forgiven, but be careful what you say. A little remark like that could draw the kind of attention you really don't want. Now, to the point. Did you hear their prayer?
Yes, and it was the normal Lord's Prayer. Just at the end, they begged God, if you'll forgive my saying, to rid us of that devil in Rome.
God forgive those poor souls, for they know not what they do.
Then they had a discussion. Mrs. Bower seems to want to confess to it all, but the others were trying to talk her out of it.
Confess? A heretic who wants to confess? There'll most certainly be more to it than meets the eye.
She seemed pretty determined.
Never trust the word of a heretic. They're the devil's vessels. Remember, he tries his tricks through them.
I'll bear that in mind.
Well, that will probably suffice for me. You did well. And for your devotion to Mother Church, you deserve a just reward.
Thank you, Monsignor.
Now please excuse me. I need to arrange for their arrest and interrogation.
Of course.
God be with you.
Yeah. 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 Good on. Good boy.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
I don't know anything about it. But if I were you, I'd speak to Martha, the innkeeper's wife. She knows all the... God be with you.
God's sake. Good luck then. God be with you.
I'd like to discuss the
Well. See now, I knew we'd... God be with you. God be with you.
Yeah.
I might just...
I heard that a pilgrim was selling bits of a sacred sword a while ago. Did he visit you by any chance?
I don't know anything about it.
Really?
Really? Are you trying to suggest I'm lying?
Take care. Take care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greetings, good. God be with you. May the Lord watch over you.
Greetings. What business have you?
It's all sorted out, sir. You've no need to worry about the vicar anymore.
Excellent. Some good news at last. I've heard some pretty wild rumors from Uzhitz. So what happened there exactly?
Maybe this will surprise you, sir, but there really were heretics in Uzhitz.
Are you telling me the vicar didn't come to stick his nose in my possessions?
I don't know about that, but he definitely suspected there were heretics hereabouts, and he was right.
Christ. A man doesn't expect that sort of thing in his own fiefdom. Did you catch them?
I told the vicar everything, and he had them arrested. They should be on their way to Kuttenberg by now.
And the vicar's gone with them. It gives me no pleasure to know he hit on something here. It gives him every excuse to return. But it's certainly good news for the moment. Anyway, Henry, thanks for dealing with that vicar. You pulled a thorn from my side. Here's a little token of my gratitude.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
All better now.
Fine, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, is someone there?
Yeah.
What the?
God be.
I've got some goods.
All right.
Good luck to you.
How come you're...
I've heard that some pilgrim was selling off pieces of a rare sword. If you happen to have one, I'd be interested.
Did that sasso dabbler send you here?
Why?
Why? Because there was nothing left for him, and now he's envious and wants some too. Well, he's out of luck. I do have it, but I'm not selling.
Man, isn't there some way...
No way. Like I... See you later.
God's blessings. What? Goodbye.
I've got everything you need, day or...
God.
Take care.
I'm... Good luck, sir.
God be with you.
I think I have something that belongs to you. I found it in Skalitz.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. I made a mistake. Sorry.
God be with you.
That treasure of yours you sent me to get.
Did you find it?
It belongs to Baron.
But I couldn't know that.
Well, fine. Look here, Kunesh. I can't watch you wasting away here anymore. How would you like a job?
Working for you? Where?
In Pribyslavitz. We're rebuilding the whole settlement. You could maybe work there as a woodcutter.
Oh, I could cut wood. But what's it worth to you?
What do you mean, what's it worth? I'm offering you a new life. For once in your life, swallow your pride and seize the opportunity while you still can.
It's easy for you to say. You're right, lad. Though I hate to admit it. Ever since my old woman left, I've had the devil riding on my back. But you leave me my booze. What else have I got in life? As long as there's ale to wash down the dust, I'll work for you.
All right, I'll take you.
Oh.
What the hell was that?
I'm glad to see.
I'd like to buy some grain.
You want to buy grain?
That's what I said. I need regular supplies for Pribyslavitz. I'm in charge of renewing the village.
Well, I never. So Sir Divish really is going ahead with it?
Looks like it.
Well, it's all the same to me. How many bushels will you be wanting?
I'll need fodder for horses, at least 10 strong animals, and wheat for the baker. He'll have to bake for the whole village.
I can arrange that. Only you'll have to put a share back into the Sasau coffers. To cover the cost of the supplies our lord will be losing on account of it.
I understand.
Have you got someone to transport the grain?
I've got a merchant to take care of it.
This is the price.
Couldn't we do something about the price?
Sorry, I can't, Henry. I've got to manage things properly here. The price is what it is. This is the price. Take it or leave it.
Is there anything interesting going on here?
Well, there's two good-for-nothings from Skalitz who are a thorn in my side. It's one thing sympathizing with them after what happened, but it's another when they get mixed up in all kinds of mischief. I'll catch them red-handed sooner or later. When I do, they'll be sorry they crossed me.
I'll see you later.
Hey.
Jesus Christ! Your clothes! Were you assaulted?
God be with you. Good luck then.
Good God.
Bye.
God be with.
Clear off before I have you.
Yeah.
Damn.
the hell out of here. There's nothing here for you. What are you doing here? Are you after something?
Yeah.
Hey, you've no business here. Clear off or you'll be sorry.
Hey, wait a moment.
I'm honored.
Is there anything interesting going on around these parts?
Interesting? Not really. Sad, more like. You know, I always liked the Neuhof horses best. They had, well, a spark to them. Old Smeal was killed in that raid, and I'm afraid the stud farm will never recover without him.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here.
Don't ask me. Talk to blacksmith's Betty. She's the one who claims she saw them feasting in the woods.
I see.
God be with you.
God be with you.
I'd like to find out about the...
What about them?
Well, I wondered if you got any idea...
Tom of the Baths was mouthing off in the tavern. That's all I know. Farewell.
Hey. Wait a moment. You're him, right? The boy from Skalitz? You're the young fellow who came here from Skalitz half dead, aren't you?
Yes, that'll be me. Why?
The lady of the castle was asking after you. She wants to talk to you.
Ah, I'll go and see her then. Thank you.
Very well. Farewell.
God be... Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Ah, watch where you're going, you louse. You nearly killed me. Yow!
Yeah.
Looking for something around? God preserve you.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If I were you, I'd ask Thomas, the bath hand. He was boasting. May the Lord watch us there. What in the...
God save.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round.
If you ask me, there's some questions best left unanswered.
What was that?
God preserve you. Good.
I heard there are poachers in the woods round here.
If only if it was just poachers. It's that sorcerer Hare. He's the one who's been running amok. I said he'd be back, and I said he'd be vengeful, and I was right.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here one day. No one rightly knew where from. He claimed up at the castle to be a nobleman's son, and so he got the office of Master Huntsman, and Margaret was promised him for his wife. Nobody could have known he was a sorcerer.
And how did his sorcery reveal itself?
Well, he was able to vanish into thin air in the forest right in front of folk. And I've heard it said he spoke to animals, too, though I don't know the truth of it.
That doesn't sound very convincing to me.
That's because you've not seen his marksmanship. It was natural, the things he could do with that bow of his. They say he sold his soul for the gift of it.
I see. How did it go with Margaret?
I'm not one to gossip, but she was a flighty lass in her younger years. She could never make up her mind which one she wanted, the Hare or Nicholas. So in the end, fate decided for her.
What do you mean? What happened with Hare?
Oh, that was quite something. And then some on top of it. Sir Henry of Lipa was visiting here at the castle, and Hare snapped his guardsman's neck with his bare hands. Of course, they found him out. But how do you keep a sorcerer under lock and key? You can't. That's your answer. And that Satan spawns...
Oh, well. It's quite a wild story. Was he actually seen killing the guardsman?
I suppose so. Else they'd hardly know who did it, would they?
That's probably true. Any idea why he murdered the man?
No one knows, and most likely never will. But they say he was fully in the devil's power. There was a full moon, you see.
There is one... Who does Hare want revenge on?
Master Huntsman Nicholas, of course. When the Hare disappeared, Nicholas took his Margaret and the huntsman's posting.
So Nicholas came out of it well?
That one always knew how to land on his feet.
Thanks.
May the Lord watch over you. Jesus Christ be praised. How may I serve you?
I heard you've got a poaching problem in the woods around here.
In the woods and out of them. Not long back, the bastards hung a deer's head on the huntsman's house.
That's pretty brazen of them.
Certainly is. Word around the village is that someone wants to shame him till he...
Putting a deer's head on the huntsman's house sounds pretty risky. Why would anyone do that?
Maybe they want to show that Huntsman Nicholas is no match for them. And they're not wrong. He isn't the man he should be.
So why do people think Tom of the Baths is involved?
Ah, that's just nonsense. He was bragging in the tavern that he'd put on a venison feast for the village girls. Deer for the deers.
Did he?
I doubt it. He's all mouth and no trousers. But if you want to know more, ask my husband, the innkeeper. I wasn't here that evening.
Do you think it was someone local?
I really don't know. All sorts of things get said. Hannikin Hare's back, if you listen to some, and others are going on about Tom of the Baths. They swear blind he's got his fingers in it.
And what about you?
It could be anyone. There's more than one that has it in for Nicholas. And who knows what the neighbors get up to by...
What's so suspicious about this Thomas?
Just that he was drunk.
Tell me something about Hannikin.
He used to be Master Huntsman here a while back. But then Nicholas got him accused of a murder, and the Hare had to flee. It cost him the huntsman's rank and Margaret, too.
What happened between Hare and Nicholas, anyway?
Those two didn't get on from the start. And then that business with Margaret really set them at each other's throats. But it all came to a head about 15 years back when Sir Henry of Lipa came to visit.
Sir Hanish's father?
Just so. There was a banquet at the castle in his honor, and in the morning they found one of Sir Henry's men-at-arms in the ditch with his neck broken. Well, Nicholas made sure that blame fell on...
So how did Nicholas put the blame on Hare?
Nicholas always had a viper's tongue, and events made it easy for him. That evening there'd been a right falling out between Hare and the guardsman. Blows were struck. Well, Sir Divish didn't want any ill will with Sir Henry, so he tried to settle things as quick as he could, and Hare got the short straw.
What was going on with Margaret?
Her father promised her to Hannikin, because they seemed a good match. But Nicholas couldn't stomach that, so he did what he did.
That'll be all. Thanks.
God be with you.
My humble...
I'm here to find out about the poachers gang.
Well, ask away. I don't have all day.
I heard you were yelling in the tavern that you were off to hunt some venison.
Look here. I don't know who you are, but you should watch your mouth.
I will, don't you worry. So what happened then?
What? Nothing. It was just the beer talking. I got pissed and started spouting shit. Didn't mean a word of it.
Maybe not. That remains to be seen. That'll do. I hear that...
I don't have time to talk. God be with you.
Just roast it with a bit of lard, same as you. God's blessings.
I'd like to ask you about Hannikin Hare.
I'm sorry, but I really don't want to talk about that.
The thing is, every time I spoke to someone about Hare, they always ended up talking about you.
But I don't.
You aren't to blame for anything, is that it? Well, I am willing to believe you, but you do know more than you're telling, and I need to hear it.
Very well. You're right. And what would you like to know about Hare?
How were things between you and Hare back then?
There was nothing between us. Hannikin Hare impressed my father with all his talk of noble blood. But I couldn't stand him, and I didn't want to marry him. And then it made no odds after he ran away.
So you didn't want him? I only asked because I've heard differently.
That's village talk. Of course folk gossip. Mostly they just want to hurt Nicholas.
Did Hare really commit the murder?
God in heaven, how should I know? Anyway, it doesn't matter now.
That remains to be seen. That'll be everything.
Take care.
That'll do, me.
May the Lord watch over you. How?
Mother of God, you look like you've been assaulted.
I've got a few questions about these poachers.
So ask.
I heard you saw something fishy in the forest.
That's right, I did.
Can you describe what you saw?
It was after dark, I remember that. I went up past the castle along by the clearing, and I saw someone had lit a fire, and there were figures singing and dancing, and I could hear the whistling of a pipe. And I could smell roast meat. It was like a feast of some sort. Only I thought maybe it was some witch's Sabbath, so I was afraid to stay too long in case they saw me.
Did you recognize anyone there? Someone from the village, maybe?
No. Like I said, it was dark. All I could see was shadowy figures moving around.
Did you hear any familiar voices?
No. But I heard girls' laughter, goblets clinking, a piper playing. It sounded just like any feast.
Where is the clearing?
A short walk north of the castle. There's a track past the woodcutter's camp that takes you there.
Thanks. What do you make of this poaching that's been going on?
It's clear as day. Hannikin Hare's back. And putting those antlers on Nicholas's house? Well, we all know what that means, don't we? It's the sign of a cuckold, you mark my words.
You mean to say his wife's cheating on him?
All I'm saying is she might be feeling the urge. It happens in the best of families.
Well, you're the first who's certain of Hare's return. So far, I've just heard vague rumours.
Well, now, I wouldn't say I'm completely sure. I suppose some other mischief maker could have done it, but better the devil you know. And everyone hereabouts knows Hare.
You were singing a different song not long ago.
So? Why do you want to know so much, anyway?
It's nothing to you, but I'm helping Nicholas unmask that local poaching gang.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. And you also know not to keep anything from me. So, what's the story with that Hare?
All right, I'll tell you what I know. But promise not to tell Nicholas I said it.
I'll do what I can, but I need to let him know what I discover. So, out with it.
It's to do with Margaret, his wife. They say it's all because of her.
Keep going.
I know full well Hare's here, because Margaret admitted as much.
What did she tell you?
That he waited in the woods till she came by and they exchanged some words. Words was all she told me. Who knows what they actually got up to?
And what did they speak about?
I don't know. But if Nicholas knew they'd met, he'd most likely kill her.
You're sure she wasn't saying it in jest?
Oh, no. Margaret wouldn't joke about something like that.
Who's this Hannikin?
Hannikin Hare? There was a...
So what's the story between...
It was complicated. He wanted her and she wanted him too, I reckon. At least for a while. But then she hitched up with Nicholas and now she says she never had a thought of wedding Hannikin Hare.
So what went on between Hare and the huntsman?
Those two? There was no love lost between them from the moment Hare arrived. And then Margaret got involved. It was a messy business.
Do you think Hare really killed that man?
Who knows the truth of it now? I did find it all a bit odd. Hare never was much of a hothead. But then again, no one really knew. And Margaret never wanted to speak of it. Wouldn't hear a word about it.
That's all I need. Thanks.
Goodbye.
I'd like...
I'm sorry, but I...
Listen, I know the Hare is here, and I know you spoke with him. And if you don't want your husband to find out, you better start talking.
Wait! You can't say something like that to Nicholas. God knows what he'd do.
It's in your hands whether I tell him or not.
All right, all right. What do you want to know?
What did you talk about in the woods with Hannikin Hare?
I see Betty's mouth's been busy.
Don't blame her. I had to work hard to weasel it out of her. Now tell me.
Oh, all right. Well, it seems Hannikin Hare's exile has addled his brain. He told me he'd go off with me, that he still loves me and nonsense like that.
And what about you?
What do you mean? I was so shocked, I couldn't even scream.
Is that all he told you?
He said if I change my mind, I'm to hang a garland of forget-me-nots on the house and wait for him at that place of ours.
Where was it you saw him exactly?
I wish I could tell you. The whole thing was like a fever dream. I almost got lost trying to get out of the forest. Even if I remembered, it wouldn't be any use to you. Hannikin Hare moves through the forest like a ghost. He knows every tree root off by heart.
I want you to hang that garland on the lodge.
But I don't want to go anywhere with him.
You don't have to go anywhere. But tell me, where's that secret meeting place of yours?
On the way to Ujits. Back then, we used to meet by the great big beech tree, right next to the wayside shrine. There's a lovely view there, you see.
And what time will he be waiting there for you?
At dawn. What are you going to do to Hare?
Never you mind. The main thing is it will all get sorted out. And that's all that matters, isn't it?
I suppose so. Very well, then. I'll hang the garland for you.
That'll be everything.
Goodbye.
Ah! Yeah.
I'm guessing Nicholas won't be joining us. Who the devil are you?
My name is Henry, and I work for the Master Huntsman.
So are you going to arrest me?
I am.
All I ask is that you listen to me first.
Let me guess. You're gonna tell me you're innocent?
I wouldn't presume. I've been poaching on the Divish estate, and I'll take the punishment I deserve. But the crime I was nearly strung up for, that one I didn't commit.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Hannikin Hare of Zalush.
The nobleman?
I used to be. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the master huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher? I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and the morning after the banquet in his honor, one of his men was found dead.
And didn't they have any cause to suspect you?
That's just it, they did. At the banquet, I got into a fight with the man.
Why did you get into a fight with him?
The fall of the House of Zalush was the work of the Lords of Lipa, and that fellow took great delight in reminding me of it.
And then what?
Nicholas began to pull strings. Several people came forward as witnesses to say they saw me with the fellow later that night.
Why would he have done that?
He wanted rid of me. We were both in love with the same lass, you see, and Margaret is his wife today. But back then there was no question which of the two of us would win her. I was the huntsman of noble blood, and Nicholas was just plain Nick. Her father's preference was clear.
Do you know who did kill the man?
No. He was found in a ditch with his neck broken. He could have tripped and fallen, all on his own.
And that never occurred to anyone?
It did. But some people swore they'd seen us jostling on the drawbridge. Of course, that was Nicholas's work.
What did Margaret think of you?
She took me for a fool. She only had eyes for Nicholas, but I didn't see it then. In the end, she could have saved me.
How?
She could have told the truth. After the banquet, I was with her. But when they asked her, she said she hadn't seen me that night.
How did you get out of it?
What leads you to imagine I did?
Your head's still on your shoulders, so you must have escaped somehow.
I'm alive. But my name and my family's name has been dragged through the mud. For me, that's worse than the sentence waiting for me.
If you say so. But you still managed to get away.
Well, it's true. I had the good fortune to escape from the dungeon.
An interesting story.
I can't complain of boredom. The question is, will anyone believe me?
Even if I believed you, there's no proof. It all happened a long time ago.
I know. But if I didn't believe in my own innocence, I'd have to be crazy to have done what I did.
Why?
If I truly were guilty, why would I risk coming back to Bohemia? I could have died in peace as a rich man in the pay of the Jagiellonians. Only a fool would come back.
Nicholas took everything you had, regardless of your guilt or innocence. I'd say you have more than enough cause to want revenge.
I'm not like him. Anyway, you're right. I don't have any proof of my innocence. All I can give you is my word.
And how did it happen?
It's a long story.
I've got time to listen.
All right. But for you to understand, I have to start from the beginning. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the master huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher? I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and the morning after the banquet in...
And didn't they have any cause to suspect you?
That's just it, they did. At the banquet, I got into a fight.
I think I've heard enough. This is one of the most insane stories I've heard lately.
That doesn't surprise me.
But something tells me you're speaking the truth, Anakin Hare.
Thank you. And if you want to help me, come to the old mine gallery in Broad Woods.
I'll be there.
I have a plan, but I need some help.
So, what are you up to?
Working out how to get Nicholas's confession.
And how would you do that exactly?
Simple. I'll have him sign it. I've had the priest in Janowitz write me up a parchment. When Nicholas signs it, he'll admit to everything written down there.
How do you want to force him to do that?
He won't have a choice, or rather he will have, between his wife Margaret and the job of huntsman.
Could you stop talking in riddles and just tell me what you're up to?
It's plain enough. We'll kidnap Margaret. That's to say, you'll kidnap Margaret while I distract Nicholas. If he wants to see her again, he won't have any choice.
Kidnapping? That doesn't seem like much of a way to clear your name.
No? Take a look around you, Henry. Sigismund kidnapped Wenceslas, his own brother. And Divish was abducted by Medek of Waldeck.
True, but Sigismund and Medek kidnapped the men they wanted to bargain with. You're thinking of taking a man's wife who's done nothing to deserve it.
And what of it? Those others did it for money or power. I'm doing it to redeem my honor. And since you mentioned Margaret, she's not all that innocent. I could have swung because of her.
But that confession's just a scrap of parchment with writing on it. What will happen to him after that?
That scrap of parchment is for Sir Divish and the provincial court. But we'll be generous to Nicholas and let him leave in peace before we deliver the confession to Talmberg.
So Nicholas will go free, and you'll clear your name?
Hopefully.
So what do I need to do?
I had Nicholas's prized hunting horn liberated.
And I meant to...
Of course it would be best if she went with you voluntarily, but if not, you'll just have to drag her with you.
I don't know. What if there's trouble?
That's why I'm sending you. I trust you. But whatever happens, Margaret mustn't be hurt. When you get her, bring her here. Then we can decide what's next.
All right.
Don't forget, tomorrow at dawn.
Yeah.
Ah! Clumsy idiot! Learn to ride a horse before you kill someone! I'm fed up to the back teeth with it all. All what? All this constant fear that some cutthroat will jump me out of nowhere. I know what you mean. God is testing us. Then about it, aren't they? They wiped out a whole encampment of those marauders in Privy-Slavitz after all, for all the good it did. Another lot attacked Merhoyed. It's bad enough unwary travellers being attacked on the roads, but they have the gall to attack a whole village. Is that so? Lord above, I haven't...
Yeah. Ah! Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've no business here. Clear off, or you'll be sorry.
What are you doing here? You after something?
Well, I never... Hey, what the hell? You don't clear off quick. It'll be the worst for you. Mother of God! What's with you? You! Stop right where you are! Surrender! You're under arrest! I warned you, you've no business here. Now you should have thought twice about what you're doing. That will land you...
I won't put up with any more of this. Keep it up, and you'll rue the day you crossed me.
But I was just... You...
I could do with a bite to eat.
You've no business here. Clear off, or you'll be sorry.
What are you doing here? Are you after something?
Hey, who's there? Hey, who's there? Hey! What's going on there? Hey, you! What are you doing? Fuck off before I lose my temper.